Hello everyone! I recently went to a book signing with the author Colleen Houck, and she did a reading from this book, though the book that she read from had some exclusive, secret chapter. So here is a video clip of her reading that chapter.
Because this has the special chapter in it that you don't have in the regular edition of Voyage. Well, I'm going to read a little bit of this because nobody has this. So I'm going to read a little bit of this bonus chapter, which is when Nicolas has kidnapped Ren. And actually, I wrote it, it's like, when I first wrote it, it was about 5 pages. And it was kind of disgusting because I actually put in some of the torture that Nicolas did to Ren. And my editor's like, that might freak some people out. I'm like, well, it's not really that bloody. It's just a little, Anyway, I'll read a little bit of this. This chapter. It's called A Dream Forgotten. Mother, Father, I'd like to introduce my fiance, Kelsey Hayes. Standing in front of my parents for the first time, Kelsey looked more beautiful than ever. Her long brown hair shone in the sun and a rosy blush spread across her cheeks. I never thought this day would come. I never thought she would choose me, Ren. At that moment, there was no man on earth as happy or as lucky as I was. But it was only a dream. Despite the desire to remain in a fantasy world, I always returned to my nightmare, a torture chamber in a cage cell in Nicolas's Vega camp, hidden deep within the jungle. Nicolas wanted the other piece of the amulet, and it didn't matter to him that it hung around Kelsey's neck. He would beat me until I gave him her location, but I would never put my beloved in harm's way. I'd rather die 1,000 times. As the dream of Kelsey faded, the stench of my own dried blood replaced the honey-sweet scent of her skin. Soft caresses became sharp knives that ripped me apart. A kiss swapped for a beating. Precious whispered promises changed to violent abuses that only the most evil of men could delight in. Paradise traded in for hell. Nicolas's men turned off the glaring overhead lights and slammed the door shut, plunging me into the blackest darkness. The click of the lock echoed through my dungeon of horrors. Suddenly I heard the tinkling of bells, and a pinpoint of light penetrated the darkness. The soft, buttery yellow flicker grew brighter, and then a shadow, an outline of a person, stepped through it. A beautiful woman approached me, and in her shadow was a man. Kelsey? I whispered hopefully and guiltily at the same time. No, a quiet feminine voice answered. It is I, Durga. I promised Kelsey I'd watch over you. The goddess looked like one of the statues come to life, but she only had 2 arms and carried no weapons. Her hair hung down her back in a long black wave. She wore leather boots, the jeweled snake phenandra on her arm, and a necklace half concealed beneath the collar of her green belted tunic. I cannot help you escape, she whispered regretfully, but I can assist you in another way. I can prevent Nicolas from accessing certain memories of Kelsey. No, my memories are all I have left of her. Duren, she said softly and touched her fingers delicately to mine. If you don't agree to do this, I believe that Kelsey will suffer gravely. I rubbed my chest thinking of the woman I cherished. Will our connection lead to her capture? How could I even think of allowing that to happen? Don't I love her enough to keep her safe? Could my inaction really cause Kelsey to suffer? How would I survive without her? The dark figure by Durga grunted. I tried to see his face or catch his scent, but I could only tell that his tenor was subdued and non-threatening. Who's he? I asked. He is my consort. Do not concern yourself with him right now. I nodded, acknowledging what had to be done. It was the only way to save Kelsey. Mournfully, I asked, will I never remember her again? Your memories will only be blocked temporarily. To ensure that, you must choose a trigger that will jar your memory, something that will prove to you that Kelsey is safe from Nicolas. Let me stop there. I get asked about that chapter a lot online. People want to know, especially who the guy was with Kelsey, with Durga. And I'm not telling you. So you'll have to find out later.